Alexa, turn on the lamp, please. Isn't that so nice? She gets me. You guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for being here. Really appreciate you guys watching. I'm Bryce with Sane Sense, where we talk about everything from personal finance to real estate investing. Today, we're talking about the best online business ideas for you to start in the upcoming year. And the great thing about all of these is that they require little to no money to start at all. So if you have no money or you're completely broke, all of these are for you. All of the things that I'm about to go over are things that I would actually do for myself or I've already done. I hate it when I go and look at lists on the internet of different business ideas to start and they're like, oh, just build an app and throw it on the App Store, and within 7 to 10 business days, you'll be a millionaire and you can retire. Right. Like I said, all of these are real businesses that you can start from home, online, from scratch with no money. Beginning with number 8 is starting a YouTube channel. Now, of course, I'm a little biased because obviously I have a YouTube channel because you're sitting here watching me. I realize that sitting in a room in front of a camera talking to yourself is probably not the easiest thing to do, but I promise that the longer you do it, it gets a lot easier. Everybody knows that Google is the world's biggest search engine, but not a lot of people know that YouTube is the second largest search engine. Every time you need to learn how to do something, typically you go to Google, you look at facts or you look up a recipe. But if you want to see how to do something, typically you go to YouTube. We're such a visual society and we just like to see it straightforward, really easy, right in front of our face how things are done. I originally started this YouTube because I kind of wanted this creative outlet. I wanted to be able to get better at filmmaking and photography and just kind of have like this artsy-fartsy thing that I was doing. But at the same time, I wanted to talk about my passions, which are finance and real estate. And so it was kind of just a match made in heaven. But what I didn't fully expect was for it to turn into kind of a whole side hustle for me. You might also be thinking to yourself, it's too saturated, too many people are doing YouTube. There's already other people talking about what I would talk about, and that, you know what, that's just not the case. There's room for everybody, and if you have a passion, if there's something that you want to talk about, then do it. It's really hard to get ranked and listed at the top of Google search results, but it's so much easier to get listed at the top of YouTube's search results. Anybody can sit behind the computer and type on their keyboard, make an article, but not anybody is going to feel comfortable enough recording themselves and putting it up on YouTube. It doesn't matter how big or how small the topic is that you want to talk about it. If you're interested in it, chances are there's at least 50 to 100,000 other people on the internet who are interested in the exact same thing, and they would love to hear what you have to say. The best part about YouTube is there are people browsing it every single day. And if you've got interesting content, if you've got something to say that really grabs people's attention, then you can generate leads and redirect them to other sources where you can monetize that content. So for example, you might have a Shopify store where you can sell merchandise, or you might have information that leads them to a course that you sell. Really, the options are endless, but it's a great way to build a business. And that actually leads into my next one, which is selling a course online. In the coming years, I really feel like the emphasis on college is going to start declining. In the past, that's kind of been the go-to step. You graduate from high school and then you go to college, but that's not the case anymore. Rather than spending $30,000 a year on tuition and books, you can buy a course and learn what you want to learn without having to take all these other classes that you don't necessarily care about. There are lots of different places that you can sell a course, but the main three are on your own website, or on a website or a platform such as Udemy or Teachable.com. Myself personally, I actually plan on creating a real estate course in the near future. I want to build a course about how I find my real estate deals, how I analyze these deals, how I find good tenants, you know, all the things that go into becoming a really good investor. And you know what? It's really not that difficult. You can take 3 to 5 days, you can film the whole course, you can chop it up into little, you know, bite-sized sections, and then you upload it to one of these sites. Maybe you're really good at like Facebook ads, for example. Maybe you're really good at pulling out keywords from businesses and really targeting like a specific demographic. Or maybe you're a pastry chef and you want to teach other people how to cook well. I mean, the options are really endless, but whatever you have to say, somebody wants to hear about it. And even better is this income is residual. So you do the work once, you upload this course, and then it keeps selling itself over and over and over, yet you've already done the work just once. There's this big misconception that you have to have the nicest cameras, you have to have the best lighting, the nicest audio, and that's just not the case. Phones these days, like, they're so good that you could literally record yourself on your phone, upload it to Udemy or Teachable, your own website, and that's all you need to get started. The most important part is that you're passionate about what you're talking about it, and as long as your personality comes through, that's okay. That's what people are gonna grab onto. Number 6 is something called affiliate marketing. And this is essentially just the art of selling somebody else's product for them so that you don't have to create your own product. And no, it's not as difficult as it sounds. Let's think about the largest retailer in the world right now, which is Amazon. As long as you've got a decent sized audience, you can promote other people's products and earn a small commission from them. On YouTube, you may notice that down in the description, a lot of people will put links to whatever they're talking about, myself included. So say for example that I'm talking about the desk lamp that's sitting right here behind me. If I were to link to that lamp in my description with an Amazon affiliate link and somebody goes to buy that lamp, I make 4% off that purchase. But even better, let's say they click on the link to buy the lamp, they decide not to buy the lamp, but from that page, they browse away and they go purchase a flat screen TV. Because they went to Amazon through my link, I earn a commission off whatever they buy. And let's say I make a video and it goes viral and people are watching it for 2 to 3 years or longer. People keep coming back, they keep watching the video, they keep clicking on that link. I keep making commissions. The most common forms of affiliate marketing are typically earned through things just like this, like through YouTube or a blog. One of my favorite success stories are from the guys over at Dollar Sprout. They run a personal finance blog, and I actually got to meet up with one of the owners, Jeff, while I was at FinCon just a couple weeks ago. In just the last few years, they've been able to build their blog to a point where it generates $165,000 per month. And all of that income is primarily earned through affiliate marketing. Pretty much every brand or company has an affiliate program of some sort. So if you're interested, if Nike has an affiliate program, for example, go on Google and type in Nike affiliate program, and I'm positive that they have one. Whatever it is, as long as you have a good audience or you have enough of an influence, you can make a lot of money by selling other people's products. Number 5 is selling products on Etsy. If you haven't heard of Etsy, which I'm sure you already have, it primarily targets those who are crafty or can make something with their hands. If you browse through the site, you'll see all sorts of different stuff that they sell. They've got printables like coloring books, or they've got personalized dog collars, engraved watches. I mean, you name it. If you want it, somebody's probably selling it. So just the other day, I was working on revamping my mom's resume. And I was going through Google, I was looking through all the results, and I didn't find a template that I really liked. Either all of them were way too basic or kind of too over the top. So I actually went to Etsy.com and I searched for resume templates, and I found one that I really liked, and it was only $8. I paid for it, downloaded it, edited it, printed it out, and it was great. And I saved so much more time by just using somebody else's template rather than trying to copy it and make my own. But here's the thing, whoever made that template, they made it once. They put it on Etsy, and it's got over 600 reviews right now. So if 600 people have reviewed it, imagine how many people have purchased that and actually used it. If you've got something that is useful to other people that you can make once and then sell online, you can make a killing because you don't have to do any more work. And another good thing is all of the marketing is already built in. Let's say you want to build your own store. The hard part is you have to build the website, you have to design the website, you have to get people to your website, and then on top of that, you still have to manage all the product and the inventory. With Etsy, it's such a big brand and people already know what Etsy is. Because it's such a well-known site, you don't have to worry about generating traffic. People are already on the website, and so you've got that going for you. Number 4 is to start a Shopify store. If you'd rather skip the Etsy idea and just build your own store that kind of encompasses your brand better, then going the Shopify route is probably a really good idea. In less than 30 minutes, you can have a site up and running and ready to go. They take care of all the hard stuff for you. They've got templates to choose from. You don't have to worry about taking payments from customers. They can manage the inventory. I mean, all of the big headaches that are usually there when you have to start a company, it is just already done for you. I think probably one of the biggest benefits of Shopify is that you're more in control. So you pay, I think it's $25 a month for the basic plan, but then you get to keep the rest of the profits. If you're using something like Etsy, I'm not sure exactly what their percentage is, but it's likely that they're gonna take a larger cut because you're using their brand. Whereas with Shopify, you pay that base $25 and then everything above and beyond that you earn is yours to keep. I'm in no way, shape, or form affiliated with Shopify. I like their service. And so if you're starting out and need to give it a shot, then I highly recommend it. Number 3 is becoming a virtual assistant. This position has exploded in the recent years just because more and more companies are focusing so heavily on social media. But you know what? It really is a full-time job. Have you ever seen those like perfect Instagram channels where like all the pictures are just like perfectly curated and everything flows together and the colors match nicely, and like they post a picture every single day? I mean, honestly, like it's really exhausting to look at these Instagram pages. But you know what? It's because that's literally somebody's full-time job. If you're tech savvy or even just have a good understanding on how Instagram or Facebook or Pinterest or any of these platforms work, then you might consider becoming a virtual assistant. Before I started this YouTube channel, I had a blog. It's still around. I don't focus on it nearly as much because I enjoy YouTube more. But for about 2 years, I was all in, super heavy into this blog. As I was writing for the blog, one of the biggest problems that I had was generating traffic. And so what I do is I would create a blog post and then I would create 3 to 4 pins that I would put on Pinterest to drive traffic to my site. And let me tell you, it was exhausting. All I really wanted to do was focus on the writing rather than being in Photoshop all day and trying to make these pins that looked good and moving things around and trying different colors. And I was okay, but I just wasn't that good at it. Like I said, I would much rather have just focused on the writing, but instead I was so focused on getting traffic that I couldn't really focus on the main purpose of all of it. Going back in time, if I could, I would happily have outsourced all of this work because I wasn't that good at it and I didn't enjoy it. If this is something that you're interested in, then there's actually a lot of money in it. I mean, imagine that you've got 10 clients and they're paying you $300 to $400 a month for a couple posts a week, maybe a video a week. I mean, it's really not a lot of work if you know what you're doing. So $300 to $400 a month, 10 clients, I mean, you're making $3,000 to $4,000 right there just from helping people with their social media. Number 2 is earning money from ADSENSE revenue. While I was in college, I built this stupid little informational website talking about the fun things to do in that small town and things around it. When I started that website, I honestly didn't have a plan to make money with it. I did it because I genuinely wanted to help other people. So I threw it up online really quickly, and then whenever my friends and I would go out and do something, I'd snap a couple pictures, I'd come home, I'd throw them up online, do a quick write-up, and then that was it. I just called it good. Almost by accident, Google indexed my site, and within like a couple months, I had 10,000 consistent viewers to my website. And like I said, I really wasn't doing anything special or out of the ordinary. So eventually I said to myself, you know what, I'm gonna throw some ads on here and just see if I can make any money from it. Within that first month, I made like $75. And I kept putting content on there, and I think at the time it was making anywhere from $150 to $250. And I would maybe spend an hour a week on it tops. To this day, I still make $150 to $250 a month, and I have not touched that site in years. Now, I don't really bother with this site anymore. I'm kind of wrapped up in different things, house projects, and you know, life gets busy, but I know that if I were to spend some consistent time and effort on it, I could easily ramp that up to $300 to $500 a month without a problem. If you have something that is unique or you're really passionate about, maybe try building a website about it. After just a couple months, if you have enough traffic, you should be able to monetize it and, you know, make a decent income off of it. I've been building websites ever since I was in high school, and ever since then I've been using Bluehost to take care of all of my websites. Now, I'm no genius, but if I can build a website, you can definitely build a website. They make it super easy to do. Go on there, within 5 minutes, you can have a website up and running. And I mean, like I said, this website that I've had, it's been running on their service for years and I haven't touched it. There's no maintenance on it, and I've had no issues. So if you're thinking about starting a website, that's definitely a service that I would check out. And last but not least, number one is freelancing. More than ever, people are working from home, freelancing, and just being in business for themselves. Two of the best websites that I know of to kind of promote your freelancing services are Upwork and Fiverr, which I'm sure you've heard of both of these. While I personally don't go on here and promote my services, I've gone on and bought lots of other services from other people. I've purchased illustration from people, I've had people build me logos, I've had them do graphic design work for me, I've had them do freelance writing for me. I mean, any digital service that you can think of, I'm positive it's on there. Let's say you're a graphic designer. You can list your services on either of these websites or both and put on there that you're willing to do graphic design work for $20 an hour. Using these websites, you can connect to other people or businesses that need graphic design work that just can't afford to do it in-house. And I mean, you can make a full-time living out of it. Now, of course, this is by no means an exhaustive, complete list, but I think they're really good ideas, and I think these are all things that anybody could do and start from home. And if you're looking to generate more income, I would definitely check these out. If you have any other business ideas that you think would be beneficial for other people, please be sure to comment down below some of the other options that you can think of, and we can use those to help others as well. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you next week.